beautiful friends. Welcome back to my channel, or if you were new here, my name is Cami, and what I like to do here on YouTube is I like to talk about scammers of the multi-level marketing brand, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. So today, y'all, I'm so tired. It is currently 7:30 at night, and I started a new job at a certain barrel of crackers. It's been a long week. I started the week before Christmas, and I've got my Christmas set up. By the time that this goes up, it'll be after Christmas. But you know what? No one can tell me anything because I like Christmas, okay? But today, we are going to be reacting to an Arbonne team call. I have not watched any of this, so I don't have any clue what to expect. I don't know none of that, and you'll excuse the bare face. I didn't have any motivation to put on any makeup, but I'm still cute. I think I still look good. But I'm going to stop blabbering. I am going to go ahead and jump right into this.
Happy Monday. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. If you don't know me, my name is Nikki Whiting, and I've been a coach for 7 years, and I'm super excited to share all things leadership tonight. So we're going to be recapping basically everything that happened from Wednesday to Saturday night, with a few things omitted just because for time-saving purposes. If you have a question, please let me know in the chat and I will try to come back to that. If I watch it right now, I'll probably get like super sidetracked. But welcome. I'm thankful to be on with you guys tonight. To be honest, I tend to like crawl into my hermit shell after leadership or like summit or any of those events. And I'm really glad that I had this call to kind of keep the momentum going, because I know it's important to just keep going and keep showing up. I don't know about you guys, but I am such a like extroverted introvert, which one of the keynote speakers, Jay Shetty, who wrote this book, Think Like a Monk, he touched on a little bit of that general session.
Isn't that guy like super problematic? Yeah, he got exposed for like for being like a fraud. So this is from Quora. I think that's how you pronounce it. Quora. Quora. And it says, I woke up to this news about Jay Shetty. It basically says that a few days ago, Jay was exposed by an internet celebrity for having plagiarized some of his content. And it leads to this article through CDN News. Are y'all good? I have both the cats in here with me because if I close the door. Milo wants to play. Tinkerbell doesn't want any of it. Come here, Tink. Y'all have seen Milo. I don't think I've ever actually shown y'all Tinkerbell on camera though. I promise she loves me. So yeah, there's like this like whole thing where he's basically got exposed for plagiarism. Nicole Arbor, as much as I don't like her, she's like a whole nother box of worms, can of worms that I don't want to get into. Nicole Arbor did like a whole video on him, basically exposing him. And once Nicole's video went viral, Jay or like someone on his team scrubbed his old content. I'll link the article in the description below. But basically, he's like this huge fraud.
And I enjoy that plugged in time. I love the team time, the overload of information, the massive note taking, all the parties, all that good stuff. But then I need what feels like a week to like process it all and put it into a form that makes sense that I can bring back to the team that's just not like jumbled everywhere. I want to encourage all of you guys that if you've watched any of our leaders or other leaders that you look up to attend this event virtually this year, but next year in person, and stalk their social media accounts, maybe the way that I did the first time I signed up, I would encourage you to set the bar for yourself to be there next year. If you are still working towards New Leader Conference for the beginning of 2021, dial in. If you have already put up the comparison wall and told yourself either, well, I've been a coach for 2 years and I'm still not there, or you missed the opportunity this year, why try again, or I'm a baby coach, I don't want to like disappoint myself and I'm going to give myself some safe goals. I'm going to tell you to stop doing that. And I'm going to tell you to not allow yourself to go to a place of comparison or limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, and self-talk. This event is yours to attend, just like it is for anyone else that received that invite. You are worthy of these awesome trips and these leadership talks. You are worthy of investing in taking whatever steps necessary to get yourself there. And it is not something that's out of reach. And for those of you talking about goals and FOMO and all of that, those are reason enough to just get yourself there, because there's no reason why you need to sit back and watch any of those events happen anymore without you being there too. So if you want more info specifically just on how to get to leadership and the qualifications and all of that, you can find that in FAQ, I believe it's 2095, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, but also you can Google in the FAQ leadership and it will tell you the qualifications. So let's dive right into tonight's topic, which is all things leadership. I struggled a little bit with how to organize all of this because there was seriously so much information and so many great speakers, a ton of trainings. But the first thing that I wanted to do is break it up into the announcement section first. And then from there, we can go into some cliff notes of the incredible trainings and keynote speakers. So let's start with the announcements, and anybody who was at leadership, if I'm missing any of these announcements, please let me know or speak up. My chicken scratch is a little all over the place. So let's start with shipping updates, because I know everyone was going crazy when everything happened with the shipping, when we had the perfect storm of COVID and these massive launches and our businesses spiking and like all of this stuff. So they had a really long conversation of
Their business is spiking because of COVID.
okay, and me speaking customers. Now, one of my favorites, personal announcement was the customized workouts. We sampled it up into the announcement section first, and then from there we can go into some cliff notes of the incredible trainings and keynote speakers. So let's start with the announcements, and anybody who was at leadership, if I'm missing any of these announcements, please let me know or speak up. My chicken scratch is a little all over the place. So let's start with shipping updates, because I know everyone was going crazy when everything happened with the shipping, when we had the perfect storm of COVID and these massive launches and our businesses spiking and like all of this stuff. So they had a really long conversation about that. And basically Carl was saying, everything funnels through 3 places: UPS, FedEx, and USPS. So when things
There's like this one lady that's just been on the phone the whole time.
crazy with COVID and the shipping difficulties and our businesses going through the roof, it was like the perfect shipping nightmare storm. And
It's kind of disgusting how they're like, COVID was going on, but our business was through the roof. Like, I don't understand how they don't see how disgusting it is that they would brag about how during COVID their business was through the roof. Do they not understand how predatory it is that they preyed on people that were vulnerable, whether it be because of health reasons or because of unemployment reasons with COVID? That is absolutely disgusting to me.
they really say that we are through the worst, and they're happy to report that most of that is caught up. And they do feel really confident leading into 9-week control freak launch, because that was a big concern. It's like, okay, how do we not do that again? Because we know that 9-week control freak is going to be huge. So I'll lead that right into 9-week control freak. We have some more solid dates and info now. That was kind of up in the air for a while. And first of all, we got to sample.
Every night around this time I hear a train going. I don't live near train tracks.
Lot of workouts. We sampled 9 Week Control Freak, the Tabata style workout this weekend. It is so good. And I tell people when it's like not necessarily my jam, I'm very upfront about it. When I tell you I
No, you
loved it,
don't.
I absolutely loved it. She did it so that there weren't the need for the new equipment, but there is going to be some new equipment. Obviously, they're going to have a lot of people talking about this, a lot of people in the test group, and Autumn herself is going to be doing a lot of talking. So just make sure that you guys are in tune with what is needed for that as far as equipment goes. Now, here are some dates if you want to jot those down. They're also going to be available in FAQ 1473. So, exclusive coach window. We now know that we are going to have an exclusive window from December.
Am I an idiot? Y'all, I don't know why I said Arbonne. This is not Arbonne. This is Beachbody. I don't know why my brain said Arbonne, but this is Beachbody. This is not Arbonne. I told y'all, it's been a long week. I'm sorry, okay?
December 7th through December 20th to purchase VIP early access as a coach. VIP early access for your customers is going to be available on December 21st. It will not be available to all the BOD library members until the end of May 2021 if they do not get VIP early access release. So this is, again, you guys, a really awesome opportunity to be able to upsell in a season where we have everything streaming digitally automatically. It's nice to be able to have these additional add-ons that we can talk about. And the fact that it's not going to be available through May is going to be an amazing opportunity for you to go through it yourself, get awesome results, get people signed up early, all that good stuff.
I also need to point out this is a pretty old video. I found this. I've had this saved in my computer for a while. I don't know why I haven't reacted to it sooner. This was posted about a year ago, but I still think it's a pretty good example of just how disgusting it is.
Now, one of my favorites, personal announcement was the customizable challenge packs. So, if your upline didn't tell you that, there are customizable challenge packs that will be available in what they hope to be Q2 of next year. Okay? So I know a lot of people are like, we've been asking for this, we are getting it. Okay, so now if you have customers who don't necessarily want to bundle Shakeology or pre and post workout, they still want a pack, you still want those Success Club points, you still want to be able to give them a good deal, but with the products they love, then you're going to be able to customize a pack for them with other products. Huge praise. So excited about it. Q2 is what they are hoping for. Okay, so we know when we say that, it's kind of open-ended, but that's what they said. Now, number 2 second fave announcement, the VIP discount customer program. Everybody hear that? VIP discount customer program. We have been signing up discount coaches because they want this VIP access or they want the products at a discount. And we finally have a solution for people who are afraid of the word coach, right? Because when you sign someone up, how scary is it for them when you're like, you'll just be a discount coach? The reason I know for me, that's something that has really been, they're a little standoffish about it. And also when you sign up as a coach, you're adding in your social security number because it is technically, where you could earn income. Now, Michael Neiman said something that really resonated with me, and I wrote it down. 50% of our active coaches are purchasers. They are not sellers or enrollers.
I mean, at least he admits that, the coaches are the customers.
Percent of our coaches. That means they love our products enough to be signed up to get the discount, but they are not actively working a business. So These will now be preferred customers. And here's a little bit how it's going to work, okay? They will still get 25% off. They will also pay a $15.95 membership fee. However, they will be placed in our actual genealogy. They will have no tax ID required. So I know that's a scary thing for a lot of people. They will be able to purchase within our coach windows for launches. So it gives them that extra perk as well. However, they cannot sell products or enroll coaches. What's really cool about this, you guys, is they are treated the same as far as helping you rank advance, okay? So you could have 2 active coaches on the left, one on the left and one on the right, and be emerald, or you could have 2 active discount customers and be an emerald rank coach. So how huge is that? Like, that was super exciting for me. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing for so many people. So existing coaches will be required to have, like, if you are signed up, you will be required to have at least 1 sale or enrollment every 6 months, an existing coach. If not, they are reclassified as a preferred customer, okay? So now this is also going to help you guys.
But do they still have your social security number?
Because it's going to allow coaches to see the importance of remaining active. And it was probably going to help a lot of the situations where you have people sitting around inactive. Now, I know that you guys have a ton of questions about that. And I can be honest in telling you right now, I do not have all the answers. I pretty much just told you everything that I know about it up to this point. But there are going to be several trainings starting in what I think is January, maybe even sooner, and kind of talk about that. And so you'll be able to decide if you are a preferred customer to switch to a coach. You can do that, and you won't change in the genealogy because you're already placed there, if that makes sense. So yes, it will be 1 sale or enrollment every 6 months for current coaches to remain coaches, or they're reclassified as a preferred customer. Okay. I know you're gonna have tons of questions about where do the coaches go? Where does the genealogy? What happens there? I don't have all those answers, but they are going to they're going to talk about that in a ton of training. So just be prepared for that. Now, one thing that was literally drilled into me, I don't know if they were like trying to talk to me personally or what, but bod groups was one thing that was like over and over and over again. I'm like, why are they doing this? Is it because I'll be honest, there are probably several people like me, and I know I can be better, who got frustrated when there were kinks not worked out with bod groups and decided just to not give it another chance. At least that's what I did. And so I just said, well, Facebook works, the groups work great for me, and I'm just going to stick with that. And that's honestly just like the 7.5-year coach in me speaking. I'm sometimes stubborn with change, but I know that with change comes growth. And I think that we can all agree that we could use growth in our business always. So definitely a lot of talk about bod groups. Now, there were some cliff notes that I have from an actual conversation with Brittany Leggett and Danielle Natoni, who talked about bod groups. And basically what they said was, bod groups will go nowhere, even if your social media platforms die. These new coaches they can create a group early on from the beginning, even if it's just like a placeholder group to kind of get their feet wet, but it'll allow them to start connecting with customers, understanding bod groups, playing around with it. I know Brittany said that she opens a new bod group every single month, and she includes new coaches as the admins and then encourages them to show up as like an elite challenger.
That's a lot of groups.
Kind of setting the example, which I thought was really, really cool. And I'm taking all these notes for myself because I'm thinking I need to be better at doing this. So this was one thing that I'm going to be doing more of. They talked a lot about engagement. Well, I don't want to do a bod group because I love the engagement of a Facebook group. And I had some really great, like, slap you in the face moments where they were saying, engagement, are we talking about engagement with products, or are we talking about engagement on a post? because you need to check what you're really seeing as engaging. Like, are you really just wanting all the likes? Because I know as humans on social media, we tend to get wrapped up in the likes and the comments, simply just seeing, how many people are liking and commenting in a certain amount of time, or it's just like not a good post to you all of a sudden. But we have to realize that there's so much value that we're putting into these own things on our platforms, and we're putting so much worth in these likes. But that doesn't mean that them liking something all day long, that they picked up their shake and actually drank it, or that they actually pushed play on their program and sweated their booty off before they went to work at 7 a.m. So it's more accountability.
Okay, I'm just going to say this. Most people don't have the energy or the drive to get up and do a workout before they go to work at 7 a.m. I go to work at 7 a.m. every single day, and I sure don't have the energy to get up an extra hour early and do a workout. I get up 30 minutes before I'm supposed to be at work. I get dressed and I go to work. Sometimes I'll have the energy to grab something quick for breakfast, but usually I don't. And I sure don't have the energy to do a whole workout before work, because you're going to have to get up early, you're going to have to work out, you're going to have to take a shower, and you're going to have to get ready for work, plus your commute. That could be an extra 2 hours before you have to go to work. Some people just don't have the energy to do that, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. To phrase it like, oh, some people just don't have the motivation to do that, some people just don't, blah, blah, blah. Some people don't, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Checking in with their workouts, tracking that progress, the ability to go live, the availability to go live. One of the things they said is, are people truly tracking? You don't know that. You can't tell that in a Facebook group. And so they were very encouraging and saying, if you've not given it a second chance, you should give everything a second chance. And I just felt like they were totally speaking to me. Bod groups are much more stable. Corporate was talking about that so much better in the beginning, and they want to encourage you to give your feedback as leaders so that the platform can continue to get better. Another eye-opening stat that I wrote down was that 83% of the 23 million bod members are not connected to nutritional products or programs. 83% of the 23 million are not connected to anything other than bod. That's crazy. That's so much potential. So huge opportunity there. Okay. Next announcement. I'm telling you, I'm going to bounce around. Just keep line, new topic. Okay. Shanti. If you guys were on the National Wake Up Call, if you've been in your back office, you've seen that Shanti is back. If you follow him, you know this. He has a new program. It's coming in spring 2021, and it's called Let's Get Up. It's a dancing fitness program. I know some people are like, yes, and some people are like, I'm going to hide, because it's just not something I can do. I was kind of the hide one. But there is a cool little aspect in the middle of it, so he does these easy to follow steps. It was another one that we got to sample. But it also right in the middle of doing the cardio dance sequences, he does this insanity based move set to music. And then at the end, there's a performance opportunity at the end to get up and do the whole thing through and all that stuff. So yeah, it'll walk you through steps.
Here's what's bizarre to me. It's bizarre that they are pushing... Okay, so if you go to a gym, you are not pressured to use every single piece of workout equipment in the gym. Whereas with Beachbody, you have to use every single program that they have. It's weird. And even as at my job, you don't have to try every single meal on the menu. You don't have to try every single menu item. At any job, if you're a car salesman, you're not going to have driven every single car on the lot. As a real estate agent, you're not going to have seen every single house that's on the market. Even as a person that's working at the gym, you'll have knowledge of every single piece of equipment, but you're not you don't have to tell people, oh, I love every single piece of equipment in this gym. No, I at the gym that I go to, people will tell me I hate the stair climber. But when you work for Beachbody, you have to say, "Oh, I love every single thing, every single workout that we have." Like she just said, "Oh, I wanted to run and hide," but she's still pushing it like she loves it. And that's just so strange to me.
At the end you're like doing your whole performance, but there is like a TikTok meets T25. It's seriously what it was. So let's get up as the name, spring 2021 FAQ 8081. Okay, I know that might not be something for everybody, but again, not every program is going to be for you. It might be perfect for one of your challengers who can't currently do what you're doing. So okay, that was a time.
Not every workout is going to be for you, but you still have to push it like it is.
Announcements. I think I'm going to move on now to one of my favorite takeaways and one of the powerful keynote speakers that gave us a lot of inspiration. On Thursday, well, actually there was a few. So on Thursday night, we had a fireside chat with Glennon Doyle. She talked a lot about her book Untamed. And a lot of what she spoke about was becoming the person that you were basically meant to be before society told us who we needed to be. That we were all untamed and in there somewhere, and we just have to consciously bring that out. So that was a really cool little fireside chat that people had on Thursday night. But I will tell you, yeah, a lot of people really love that book. I have not actually read that book yet, so I need to look into that book more, especially after hearing her speak. But I will tell you that one that really shook me to my core was Jay Shetty and Think Like a Monk.
Except he's not actually a monk, so how can he think like a monk? That's another thing that he was exposed for, was not actually being a monk.
And he, as soon as he popped on the screen, I literally was like jaw down, locked in, just everything. It was like soothing voice, soothing everything. It was just, I was there for it. So.
Is this man Jim Jones? That sounds like some cult stuff. Like, that's not a normal reaction to have to a human being on screen. That's weird.
He talked about the 5 steps to building your best year. And he basically said that when you put pain and reflection together, you get progress. And when you take away reflection of what is actually...
But you don't have to go through pain to have progress. What's with this whole weird idea? And this isn't just in MLMs. What's with this weird idea that you have to go through pain to have progress? Like, I don't understand it.
Happen to you or things you're going through, then all you're left with is pain and you're not able to progress. And so the first step to figuring all that out is you. It's getting you right. And if we don't take the time to reflect on that, then we can't make any progress. So he talks a lot about these 4 habits, and it's called, he uses time as the way to describe it all, TIME. And he says to do these 4 habits 5 minutes per day. So
why did she spell out time? Like, I don't want to make fun of her, but like, did she think that we meant this? Did she think that people thought that she meant the seasoning?
Is to start your day with thankfulness, to be present in gratitude. And he said you can be anywhere else. If all you're thinking about is gratitude, anxiety cannot live there.
Wow, thanks. I'm cured. That's so toxic positivity. That's pushing the narrative that, oh, if you're thankful for everything, you won't be anxious. But just be thankful for everything. You're waking up, under a bridge because you're homeless. Just be thankful that you're alive. You won't be anxious. Just be thankful that you're alive. You won't be anxious. Because no one in the world can ever have problems that are beyond, anything that is materialistic in their lives. They can't have mental illness that's causing anxiety.
All you're thinking about is how thankful you are for something. Sadness cannot live there. So it was like, who is one person that you can thank, that boosts that boosts your thankfulness? What is one person you can watch or listen to in the AM? And what is something that you can do in the morning? And one of the things that he said was that he does not pick up his phone before he does these things. And I will tell you, and we've talked about this on some of my calls before, that you are setting the start of your whole day as soon as you wake up. If your eyes wake up and you immediately roll over and grab your phone, you're most likely going to find either a message that you necessarily don't love and don't want to see, a comment that didn't make you happy, because here we are tying in our self-worth with these likes and comments and all the post stuff. You see something on the media or the news or whatever, and all of a sudden you are so consumed with the negative.
This is a pretty good example of the I in the bite model, the information control. Don't check your phone because there could be negativity. Did you ever think that there could be negative comments because what you're doing is manipulating people? That you're manipulating people to stay in a commercial cult that 99% of people lose money in or just don't make any money at all? That you make more money in a no product pyramid scheme than you do in a multi-level marketing scheme? Did you ever think about that? But instead, they would rather tell people, oh, just don't look at your phone in the morning. Just don't look at your phone in the morning. And it's a good example of the information control in the bite model by telling people, oh, if you just don't look at your phone, you won't have the negativity.
That you haven't even spoken to your kids, you haven't spoken to your husband or your spouse, and you've put yourself in this horrible place.
I'd also like to point out that my boyfriend and I, that's how we unwind in the morning. We look at our phones. We check and see what's going on in the day. We check and see, what we have to do for that day. That's how we start our day.
So he was saying, do all these things before you pick up your phone. It's not going anywhere, right? We're attached to it all day long. So that was the first thing, is just starting your day with thankfulness and being present.
You're attached to it all day long because that's how you run your business.
And that was the inspiration.
It's also funny that she's telling people, not to check their phones first thing in the morning when multi-level marketing schemes will tell you that you have to be on your phone 24/7 from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep.
He had listened to Steve Jobs' commencement speech to one of the universities over and over again. He said it's just a few minutes long, and he listens to it like every single day to the point where he has it memorized and he knows everything. So find the one thing that is great for you to pick up and read. For me, I love having a daily devotional just right near the bed, and a lot of times that's good to pick up before bed or after, when I wake up. So just finding that. M is meditation, checking in with yourself, being present with yourself. Hello, plug for our new meditation that we have on Beachbody on Demand. This would be a great thing to incorporate and share. And E would be exercise, move, which is awesome because that's literally what our whole business is based around. So 80% of us, he said, look at our phones. That's the first thing we look at when we wake up and the last thing we look at before we go to bed. So kind of crazy. So he talked a lot about being what kind of personality you were, and that's where I was talking about the extrovert and introvert. Asking, are you reserved or outgoing? What are you? And then he started to touch on goals. And here was another eye opener. He said, know your goals. Duh, right? He goes, what are your 2021 goals? And I was literally wait, it's October. And he said, if you do not already know your 2021 goals, then you better get to it. And I immediately was like, okay, well, I suppose we need to have a vision board party. I actually started talking to Steph, my upline, and I was like, we should probably figure this out. It'd be really fun. And we have some really fun stuff that we've been talking about. But I immediately was like, I can't believe I haven't even thought about that because it's just a couple months away. And I plan things out quarterly, so I should definitely be thinking about these things. And so that was an eye-opener for me. So if you guys don't have goals yet, a vision board would be a perfect thing for you to have for 2021. And then he said one thing that I ended with was Lack of experience is not a weakness. It's just a learning opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to grow. So lack of experience does not mean a weakness. It's just the area where you need to learn. So I immediately wanted this book. And then actually we went out Friday night with one of my coaches who also earned the retreat. And she showed up with it for me that night when we went to dinner, which was awesome. So I plan to pay that forward with some of my coaches too. I've already read a lot and I love it. So, okay. Next up, we started talking about going from diamond leadership to star diamond leadership. Okay, so new line, new info coming at you. Okay, actually, Lindsay Matway has a really awesome vision board party. I don't know if it's still up on her YouTube. I know somebody was just asking in the chat, but I'm just kind of squirreled on that and saw it. But I really liked hers when we did it. Okay, so going from diamond leadership to star diamond leaders. If you are someone who is close to diamond, if you are diamond, if you've dropped diamond, if you were star diamond and dropped to diamond, this is a conversation that you need to be having with yourself. We need to figure out and ask ourselves the question, what can we do differently? So they talked about, is this an emotional, mental roadblock, or is this like an organizational roadblock as far as my social media platforms and my vital behaviors? Where are the dots not connecting for me? Is it emotional, mental? Is it organizational, disconnect, like vital behaviors and all that kind of stuff? Here are 6 things that you can do to help yourself. Okay, number 1, focus on one-on-one time with the leaders that are emerging that you already have. Okay, one-on-one time with your emerging leaders. So many times we get locked up in, I gotta recruit more, I gotta find more people, I gotta find new people, but you might have awesome people right in front of you who can get there and do what they need to do to become these leaders, but we have to focus a little more on one-on-one time with those emerging leaders. 2, changing the language around the goals that need to be met. Okay, so if for example, diamond, how fast are you going to get there versus who can I shape for this business? Okay, this way there are diamonds hitting with people who already have a leadership mindset. So we want to be, instead of saying how fast can we get you there, it's who's already shaped for this, who can we shape to be a leader, and in turn
who can we manipulate into this?
They're going to be the ones that hit diamond with people because they already have this leadership mindset. Number 3, educate on sharing the business side. Okay, always invite every person to the business opportunity, empower them, and let them know that they would be good at this too. Number 4, help them become confident in coaching. Share your vision consistently, sharing that all the time, sharing the vision one-on-one with your team, sharing it on social media, sharing it on team calls, and then helping them how to run business ops and talking about the coach opportunity. So if the struggle for your coaches is talking about the coach opportunity, the one-on-one needs to be focused on talking about those things and inviting to that thing. Number 5, recognizing team growth and team developments. Okay, recognition is one of our vital behaviors. That is an easy thing to do. Shout outs, push pods, recognizing everyone, making sure that you understand your Coach Online office and checking for updates, getting your new coaches onboarding the right way so that they know how to start their business, they know how to start posting, they know where they need to go for trainings, etc. And number 6, focusing on me. I am duplicatable. That's what it needs to be. I should be able to be duplicated. Okay? Yes, I will type these there in the chat box. Lead by example. Your team is going to follow your lead. Okay? So what are you believing? What are the daily things you're doing? What is your vision? Can you cast that vision so that everyone else can see it and they can see themselves there as well? Be a business coach to yourself. Okay? So focusing on making sure that you are leading in a way that whatever they say, well, I just did what she did. It's something that you can be proud of, something that is moving the business forward, something that.
Is she saying focus on me, like focus on her, or is she saying like focus on yourself? Because if she's saying like focus on her, that's a little bit narcissistic.
And then basically she said, Michael Jordan, she watched this Michael Jordan documentary, and said, you need to trust your teammates. And Michael Jordan didn't like stoop down to the level of his team when everyone was so hype on Michael Jordan. They basically invested the time in their teammates to get them to his level, right? So he didn't say, okay.
Stoop down to the level of Michael Jordan is kind of really insulting. Like, I would be very insulted if I heard someone refer, like, if my manager at the Barrel of Crackers told everyone else, okay, don't stoop down to Cami's level, just we have to work on building her up to everyone else's level, I would be insulted. I'd probably like quit on the spot.
My team's here, I'm here, and I'm gonna come down. He was up here and he said, I'm gonna ask my team to like rise up with me. I'm gonna ask them to get on my level, to do what I'm doing, to complete the personal development, to invite, to, whatever it is. But be a champion team together, not by coming down here, but by having these rise up here. So in order to do that, what pivots do you need to make? What can you take responsibility for that needs to change? I mean, that was like a total mic drop for me. Okay. Let me see if I can paste these for you right here in the chat box. I don't know if it's gonna, okay, I think it did it for you. Okay. Now, new line, here we go. I told you this is crazy. Kim Fitzpatrick talked about the total solution and having clients before becoming coaches. Okay, so clients first was kind of like the total solution. New coaches, even that are onboarded, are treated like customers / clients first, so that they get a good feel for the community, the products, the program, the support, the accountability. We have to guide them to fall in love with and understand and love the products, the programs, the community, the support, the accountability, all of those things.
We have to brainwash them into loving the products.
And so she talked about, she has this like hype squad, she called it. And it's a group of engaged and working coaches within the groups. And they are there to welcome new members, encourage them, do shout outs, reply to comments, leading by example, basically. And this also includes giving recognition, tagging people, empowering new members to recognize themselves, to post non-scale victories, their big victories, and to feel safe to post when they're struggling. So this was something that she said, if we do this, then you're...
Except... They say this, but then they'll turn around and say, don't post anything that's negative. They'll tell you not to post anything that could be seen as negative on the company. Don't post when you're struggling. Don't post anything that you're struggling with unless you can directly tie it into Beachbody. Like, you'll see people post when they're having miscarriages in the hospital, but then they'll turn around and be like, so lucky that I can work my business while I'm in the hospital. Or they'll be like, oh, I've got COVID, but so lucky that I can work my business while I'm sick.
We'll start to do this. And you have to think about retention when you're thinking about a team. And you have to think retention and also helping them see that they 100% can do this by sharing the opportunity and helping people who are following them and watching them and seeing what they're doing. And they get hype about it because they see how excited you are about the products, your team, the recognition, the community, all of that stuff, the accountability. Now, one thing I thought was cool was she does a search warrant. And a search warrant was for those, she said, who go MIA, kind of like in a non-judgmental way, but she's like saying, I'm looking for you and I don't see you kind of situation. So like, what do you need? What are you struggling with? And I really...
What on earth? A search warrant? What? I don't even have words for that. You get a search warrant if someone doesn't show up enough? No way. She can't be. I know she's serious, but she can't be serious. No, no, no. See how culty that is? I have no words. I have no words.
This, because honestly, you could do this with anything. You could make it your own. You could definitely like switch it up and do it however you want. You could do it with your challengers, you can do it with your coaches, whatever. But she said some of the things that you could consider to get people together is to do one of three things. She mentioned weekly Zooms in the challenge groups, which I think is really cool. We have a virtual gym where we allow people to kind of hop on and off. A cooking Zoom, which I've never done. And you basically pick a 2B Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix recipe, and then everyone gets on together and makes it together on the Zoom. And then third was a book club, which I feel like always goes over really well. I feel like I'm on the verge of wanting to do another one of those with my team. And it's basically 30 minutes for these book club Zooms. And you're in charge of reading a chapter or a certain part of the book. And then you get on and you discuss it and give your feedback, your thoughts, whatever. How can you apply it to the business? Okay, so now this is something that I think it can get really overwhelming for people, especially to a newer coach listening to this call, this next part, you guys. But I think it's honestly really important that we talk about this next part, even though you might not be at the leadership level. This was a Micah Folsom speech, which was awesome, a training that she did. I'm getting ready to dive into this part. And so if you're a newer coach on this call, it might be a little overwhelming. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't understand all of this. But I think it's really important for us to know how different people build their businesses, and there's no right or wrong way. But she talked about how to build for sustained income growth. So she is obviously someone who also builds for rank. She's done amazing with both of those things. And she basically said, and I love this, to build a business that you love, that's simple and is sustainable. Not a business that you feel like you are a prison to. Okay.
I mean, when you're sending out search warrants for people, it's kind of hard to not feel like it's a prison, huh?
You don't want to be a prisoner to your business. That's not the point of this. We want to love it most of the time, right? So non-negotiable, she talked about. And I know for me personally, I love to see other people's goals. So because it kind of requires me to level up. Yeah, she's the one who's always like, just do your crap. She's got a podcast called Do Your Crap. But basically, what can you do? What are you going to do each month? So she said, how many each month are you? What's your goal going to be here? Success Club points. What are your Success Club points going to be? A new month should be like, okay, next month, November 1st, and this is your list because I'm getting ready to tell you. And then you figure out what that number is going to be and you push for that. How many Success Club points am I going to get in November? How many new coaches am I going to onboard, recruit? And how many new challengers do I want to bring in? 3 things. That is so doable. Those are easy things to write down. Good numbers to give yourself those goals to work towards. She was saying to be confident no matter what is happening in your life, you guys, to show up no matter what season of life you're in. Show up for your client, show up for your team, for yourself, no matter where you are, and to build with a servant's heart in a servant way. She's pregnant with her 5th child. She is running this business like a boss. And she's showing up no matter what season of life she's in. So the question is, do you want the income? Do you want more freedom? Because income has to grow to meet both of those desires. In order for you to get the income and have more freedom, most likely the income is going to have to grow for you to meet those desires. It's not going to fall in our laps.
So she just admitted that until you reach like the top, that you are not going to have any freedom and you are not going to have any income. That you are going to be working and you are going to be working, and you are going to be working, and you are going to be doing it for very little pay. At least that is what I got out of what she just said.
So in order to do that, we're going to have to build our income. That means we increase our rank and we maximize our volume, plain and simple. That means we leverage the 2-star diamond bonus or the star diamond bonus, okay? We show up every day. You need more yous, simply. If you guys are on this call tonight and you're showing up right now, you just need more yous. That's what you need. You don't need a ton of people who aren't going to do anything. You just need a couple that are going to do really awesome things and that they're going to show up and work like you. Okay? Getting to 2-star as fast as you can in your main.
Except it's not just about showing up to Zoom calls. It's not just about showing up to Zoom calls. It's about luck getting in early into Beachbody, which at this point it's way too late to do that. It's about who you know, because if you know enough, if you know the right people, you could probably get up there. And it's also about what your platform already is, because if you have a big enough platform, say like you're a celebrity or you're already an influencer, you could probably make it to the top.
And she was showing how to continuously then just open up your next CBC. She said, she's got, 8 business centers or something. And she said to place strategically to maximize the volume, get yourself to diamond, get to 2-star, and then repeat. And here's what's mind-blowing, okay? You could have every single person who had been a diamond leave, but you could have a 15-star team with you being your 15 coaches. You could have 15-second CBCs, or 10, or 5. You could be the 5-star coach every year with the 5 from yourself. Making sure your main CBC is always solid, but 2-star and leveraging those bonuses. Diamonds don't typically make a ton of money, is what she was saying. And so some of us, some of them just don't care to fall in and out of rank because they're not capping or anything like that. But you all on this call need to know that diamond is a stepping stone. And you have to set your sights on 2-star, okay? Diamond is the stepping stone. And once you get to 2-star, imagine having so many of you and you're now in line that you hold rank no matter what. So that's the rank that we want to focus on. And then she said,
if you scam enough people, you'll hold rank no matter what.
In order to focus on that, there's 3 buckets that you want to keep full, okay? So bucket number 1 is bringing people with you, acquiring new people. Bucket number 2 is retention and keeping people. And then bucket number 3 is duplication. Teaching others to do the same thing you do, okay? That is exactly what our elite program is built on. The people who are at leadership were able to fill those 3 buckets, okay? So if one of those buckets is lacking for you, that's what you need to start focusing on. The focus keeps you in phase 1, right? It keeps you building, no matter if you're a superstar team or not. Is a bucket depleted? Then you need to focus on that bucket. Find the joy, find the fulfillment in your business. The bucket number 1, I'm going to go to this chat really quick, is acquiring someone, bringing them with you. They buy a challenge pack or they sign up to coach. Bucket number 2 is retention, keeping them on HD, keeping them working, keeping them hitting Success Club, building their business. That's the difference between 1 and 2. Finding joy and alignment in your business, aligning your business goals with your life goals, aligning your actions with things that fulfill you, finding something in your business that lights the fire for you. And if something is not working, you guys, shift, course correct, pivot, make a move, okay? Everything is figure outable. Everything. And she was saying that she mostly recruits by developing challengers. She's always talking about coaching, business blessings on social media.
I just need to say, this girl looks like if Kristen Bell joined an MLM. She's really pretty, but she looks like Kristen Bell, and I love her hair. My hair could never do what hers is doing.
For 2 weeks out of the month, Micah focuses on her virtual gym posts. And then the next 2 weeks out of the month, she focuses on coaching opportunity, business blessings, which then leads to doing a once a month coach call opportunity. So that's kind of her thing. Okay. I'm going to move on to some juicy social media training. We're getting there, promise. Okay, Ashley Smith spoke on social media, and there was some really good stuff, because how many of your coaches or how many of you are like, how do I grow my social media? What do I do? And it's like, well, just follow more people and engage with them. That's a constant answer, because that's what a lot of us are doing, and we're all trying to figure this out, right? It's all figure outable. So she was saying to create value and engagement within our stories, to focus on the connection. And honestly, you guys, start with like the trend of simply showing up every day. If the biggest struggle for you right now on social media is like just not being on there, that is the easiest place for you to start, is to just show up daily. So how can I share with more people rather than just focusing on sales? She says, add more value. Okay, so she says there's different types of things that you can do. One thing is like you could do, there's 3 different types of stories. The B-roll type footage, which is reels or using apps like TikTok or whatever. It invites people in to see how you're doing something, and kind of show, you can show people behind the scenes of doing something. The other is the talking head, which she said is taking the camera close to your face, being prepared, just talking to your audience, knowing exactly what you want to say, and connecting on something super, super specific, giving maybe tips to a problem or giving solutions to something, a tutorial, whatever maybe people feel connected to most on your page. And then she talks about static images. So the third thing would be static images. And that kind of keeps you in the story, photos on your phone, utilizes your brand. They can be call to actions or steps for a recipe, your morning routine, from your own journey to helping someone else's journey. The biggest thing is that there gets this paralysis around posting, and when you're not prepared, it just sucks the joy straight out of sharing on social media. I promise, it really does. So she talks about viral posts versus value posts versus vulnerable posts. Okay, so let's call viral post A. Viral post brings new people in. It is easily shareable content, like across the board, people that can share quotes, lists, graphs. It brings new eyes to your feed. It can be screenshots of something, just sharing something that reaches your audience, and to stop worrying about your feed looking so perfect. I tell you, there was a thread in my leadership group on our team for my downline, and they were like, this is so nice to see that it doesn't have to be perfectly aesthetic, to hear a top coach talking about like it doesn't have to be perfection, and to stop worrying about the aesthetics of the feed just being so pretty, because that gets draining. And then she said B was this value post. Okay, so B was creating a tighter bond with your followers by connecting with them on a little bit of a deeper level, giving them something that they really need, giving them a problem, an outline, a solution, talking through it. Maybe, an example of struggling with working out with your kids around, or, 5 reasons why you can work out at home with your kids. No strings attached, no call to action. You're just simply trying to bring someone value. You're not trying to get anything more out of that. But it becomes a place that they're excited to come and see every day, because they're looking forward to your posts that bring that value.
I do agree with the whole you need to post every single day on your social media. I'm the worst at it. I suck at keeping up with Twitter especially, and I suck at keeping up with Instagram, but she does have a good point at posting every single day on your social media, but not in the context of an MLM.
C would be a vulnerable post. That tends to be harder for the newer coaches. So if you guys are newer, it can be harder for you to get vulnerable, to open yourself up, to be connecting in a deep way with your followers, being afraid of maybe, what someone might say. But the goal there is to get more comments and direct messages through those. So you hook them with a bold question or an unpopular topic. You give them an introduction of what you're talking about. The content is giving them these juicy details with bullet points or tips. You could do a call to action where you have them drop an emoji, tag a friend, swipe up, whatever it might be.
Yeah, don't do this on an MLM person's anything, because they are going to take the opportunity to message you. So just piece of advice.
But you need to think about during these is, what does my ideal person need to hear right now? What does that person need to hear when I'm going to write this post or talk? Planning your posts, empowering your followers to feel the feelings that you feel. Oh my God, that is me too. Like, I totally felt that on a whole nother level. But it's not about being the exciting person at that time. It's about being yourself no matter what in that time. Okay. So tell your coaches, tell yourself if you need to hear this, you're not boring, believe it or not. Okay. Give yourself and your coaches the confidence to share daily things. What are you doing? What do you enjoy doing daily? Time with your family, a hobby, something with your home, fashion. Like, what makes you unique? What are those passions and hobbies that you have? Now you have this platform that you can share those things. So the value is going to come first, and the call to actions are going to come later. That's the business side. First, we're bringing value, similar to when we run these free groups, and then the business side comes later. Okay. So some of the things she said that you can do is you could write out descriptions and ideas to plan ahead. And some of the things that she gave for ideas was that some of the viral posts examples she gave were why I became a coach, struggles I had before coaching, mom struggles that so many people can relate to, being a dog mom or whatever it might be. Value post ideas, polling your followers. What are you guys struggling with? Take responses and then place it in a spreadsheet so that you have the topics to talk about. Put it in your notes in your phone, wherever it's easiest for you. And creating hook titles, 3 tips, how to, whatever it might be. And then writing out tips for people, morning routines, recipes, how to manage your time. As you're doing these vital behaviors, let others see how you're implementing those. It's not about being perfect or changing what you do. It's just showing how you're comfortable implementing those things. Okay. So at that time, she's like, okay, we're chipping away at insecurities and fears and doubts when we are starting to post like this. What is the vision? What are the visions that we have? What do you want to achieve? And it's honestly less about achieving goals, but it's more about becoming the person who can achieve the goals, right? So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that. I'm going to talk to you guys about insecurities and fears and doubts that you might have in your business that spew over on social media or spew over into whatever it might be in your business that's struggling, that's making you struggle. I love hearing Lindsay Matway talk. She's been around for so long, you guys, and she is always so good. And she talked about, it was kind of like it was on Saturday, and she talked about chipping away these things, the insecurities, the fears, the doubts. She said, you guys, we have to have a clear vision. Instead of trying to achieve your goals, how do we become that person? How do we chip away and become this unique masterpiece that allows us to achieve the goals? Because we've decided to become the person that we want to be and the person that we've always been trying to be, or whatever it is that's kind of put this wall up. Continuing to show up, continuing to share your visions. That's when a lot of the insecurity starts to come down. It starts to be chiseled away a little bit.
Milo, come here, Milo. Come here.
Oh, yes.
He's so big now.
So continue to show up when you might be the only one showing up. You get excited, you get on your Zoom with your team, and you're like, well, here's just me, or you and one other person, okay? It's happened to us all. It's happened to everybody. You still show up, even if you are the only one showing up at that time. The more challenges that you're faced with, the more challenges you face, they're not there to stop you from achieving your vision. They're just there to teach you. There's a greater purpose behind it all. There's a greater purpose there. Like, do you have hardships? Do you have turmoil? Lean into those storms. Look for ways to refine yourself, to take your leadership to the next level. Chiseling away those layers and those things, those walls we put up, it hurts. It isn't easy, but it's there to level you up, okay? So look for the lesson, she said. This was so good. Look for the lesson rather than trying to level the storm. So easy. Easier said than done sometimes. We are the only thing standing in our way of the vision that we want, okay? We make a lot of excuses. We say, oh, I can't do X, Y, Z, but these are just temporary challenges, you guys, that have to be chiseled away. We have to go for...
They're just temporary challenges that have to be chiseled away, so that way I can manipulate you into the perfect little puppet.
We lead with ourselves in order to prove that we're ready to lead others. We have got to lead ourselves first before we can lead our teams. No matter how big we become or how big of a role we play, that's always going to be true. Our jobs as leaders is much the same as Carl's, casting his visions and his goals for Beachbody and seeing who is ready to duplicate it, who's coming with me. I mean, you see his passion every time he shows up at anything that he does. And that's us. As leaders, we step up, we light the path, we lead it as an example, and we show what's possible and why the work, because it's work, is worth it. We are so much bigger than just at-home fitness. We come together through loss, we come together through love, we come together through our families, through our incredible...
Except whenever someone is suffering loss, you tell them they still have to work. So is it really coming together through loss?
It's so much more than just a virtual community. We are so much bigger than a network marketing company. We come together in times of struggle and challenge in so many ways.
But see, whenever people are struggling and they get kicked out of the company because they're struggling and they haven't made rank, you just abandon them. You're not coming together through struggle.
Katie Ursa, who faced cancer and overcame cancer, facing cancer and overcoming cancer. Christina Delgado, when she showed up and did her IMT Beachbody. Monica Lopez, losing her sister.
I'm tired of these people using cancer as a talking point. I'm so tired of it.
People who are in our Team Beachbody community they were going through things. The Fitzpatricks, Jamie's heart attack, lives have been saved and commemorated. And so now is the time to kind of step into our greatness and decide to lead with our strengths and not focus so much on those weaknesses. And our vision for our team and our vision for ourselves are going to evolve as we evolve. The connections that we have, the tools, the community, we leverage it all to get better and to be better. We are Team Beachbody, was one of the things that she kept saying. Get your teams, get involved, attend the super weekends, do your personal development. It's going to help with your thoughts in the morning. Do your personal development at night or in the morning. Think about what you can do. This is not only fitness. There's a simple approach to nutrition they need. They need healthy results.
And you're not a nutritionist, so you don't know what they need.
Good results. They need a community. They need a place. We can give them that.
No, you can't.
And I love hearing her speak about the community aspect and the friendships, because to me, the friendships has been that's it for me. If nothing else, I have lifelong friends that I've made that I am so thankful for.
Unless you leave the company and then they're all going to turn on you.
So grateful for. So I'm gonna end this. We're done with the notes section here. But to be honest, you guys, I always wonder at 7.5 years in, and I heard other coaches who had been around for a while say, they've lost like passion or going through the motions. And I was like, that's not really me. But to be honest, I've been in that place, and I always wonder, is there more that I can learn? If I'm going to hop on a call, am I going to learn something else? Am I going to be inspired more? And am I going to be able to continue to grow? And every single leadership, something hits me straight to my heart that reminds me why I'm here and that I am exactly where I need to be. I have been going through the motions. I've been pushing play. I show up on some of the calls. I do power hours here and there. But the reasons behind the activities haven't been super clear for me. And so I had it set.
Milo. Okay, I can't watch any more of this. This girl is so boring. I want this whole thing's almost an hour and she is so boring to me. But I'm so tired of the manipulation. I'm so tired of them using, you need this, you need that, and sick people and blah 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 blah. I'm so tired of Beachbody especially because they prey on sick people, but that is pretty much everything I have for y'all today. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Don't forget to leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. And also head on over to my social media. And don't forget to follow me on all of my socials. I will leave them linked in the description below. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye!